Hey, what's up, my friends? Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Brian Meert, CEO of AdvertiseMint, and if you like this live stream, give a little little like below or send some emojis across the screen. So we go live twice a week to answer any questions in relation to Facebook, Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, Snapchat advertising. We're here. So if you have any questions while you're watching this, leave it in the comments below. But today, I'm going to talk about one topic and one topic only. And this is a really important, I get this all the time, this one type of question, which is, what should you do if your ads are disabled or your ads are disapproved or your account is disabled, right? So I'm gonna go through a couple of these and give you guys some tips, what you can do, what your options are, and how you can be able to kind of solve this and what's causing it to happen in the first place. So the first thing is the difference between an ad being disapproved or disabled. A disapproval means that your ads are just blocked. If it's disabled, it means your account is being shut down and you can no longer use it for anything. So a disapproval is simply on an ad basis usually. An ad will be disapproved and it won't be able to run. A couple things that you need to know when it comes to an ad being disapproved, there are two types. The first of which is an instant disapproval, meaning you'll upload the ad and it will immediately get a disapproval behind it when it starts. The second one, it will happen over a period of time. You may have been running ads for a week or 2 weeks or a month, and all of a sudden you'd be like, hey, my ad is disapproved, this makes no sense. So let me run through a couple of the scenarios of why this happens. The first one is that your ads are not approved to run. So what is it that's happening? A couple things. Number one, it could be the ad wording. So if you're using any types of words in your ads, things that are common for kind of clickbait or things that Facebook just looks for are this, you, your. A lot of times are words that can help trigger that. They also, they're running keyword analysis on the ads, so things like lose weight, anything that might violate some of their policies. Keywords like that are something that they're going to look for and be like, hey, get rich quick. Those are things that are immediately going to flag an ad and it will cause it to get disapproved. Just, there's no one looking at this. It's just an algorithm that's running that's saying, hey, this ad has it, it's out. So it's not necessarily something that's horrible. It means you just need to edit your ads to get it to comply with their policy. Other things that can cause Facebook ads to instantly get approval, if you use the word Facebook or a trademark of Facebook or any sort of Instagram logo or things like that in the actual ad, Facebook will just block it right away. They're scanning for that and they're saying, hey, you're making it look like we're sending out this message when we're not, so it's blocked. Other things, if you're using all caps for everything that you do, that can be, again, something that appears, maybe a little more spammy, and so Facebook says, hey, we're going to take that away. If your landing page has any issues, and this can be things like, if it redirects. So if you send them to a landing page and that redirects to another landing page, which redirects to another landing page, Facebook's like, yeah, no, none of that. Because they don't know. You could change those other redirects at any point in time. So that will immediately get your page or your ad blocked. If you have a massive amount of pop-ups or pop-ups showing up on your fan page, or not your fan page, your landing page. So if someone goes there and all these pop-ups are happening, you will, start to, most likely you're going to get your ad flagged. If you make any claims to income, like get rich quick or make millions of dollars in 24 hours, those type of things, instantly on a landing page, Facebook's scanning for that or any of their other policy violations. They'll scan for that and be able to just, block the ad right there. If you're violating any of Facebook's ad policies, and this is this changes all the time. There's a lot of different ad policies that are going up as Facebook, adapts and grows, and new businesses come into place or new types of scenarios. Their ultimate goal is to make Facebook valuable to the users who are on it. So if there is anything that's going in that's deceiving people or being like, I got tricked on Facebook and I just sent a Nigerian prince $20 million because he said he was going to give me $400 million. Like those type of things, right? Facebook's not going to want. So here, there's a whole bunch, and I'm going to kind of run through them really quick so you have an understanding. Number one is community standards, right? If there's anything that would violate any sort of community standards on Facebook in any sort of way, or what is kind of the structure of Facebook as a whole, that's going to be out. Illegal products or services, anything that would be illegal, trafficking humans would be something. If you're putting an ad up for that, that's going to get flagged and taken down. Discriminatory practices, a common one. There's a lot of different options for this, but one of the most common is real estate. You can target ads for real estate, but by law you can't target ads for real estate based on certain races or ethnicities, for specific neighborhoods. So this is something that, if you are trying to add an ethnicity for a real estate ad, that will trigger it and it would potentially get shut down. Tobacco products. You cannot advertise tobacco products, or there's at least to people under the age of 18. There's some very specific restrictions there. Drug or drug-related products. So these are things that, it kind of gets into a gray area. Pharmaceutical companies have come back. They've worked with Facebook to say, hey, we're doing something that's providing healthful options. It really comes down to it's now 100% in Facebook's, whatever they choose to allow. So if you are doing one of those and it gets blocked or disapproved, you have the ability to go back and request that it might show again, or that you could be able to say, can you show my ads or allow them to run, and they can do like an analysis or run again. Other things, unsafe supplements. This would be things like protein drinks, things like that, lose weight. This is 100% in Facebook's world to decide what is or is not unsafe. To some extent, I think most things would probably be approved until Facebook looks at it and says this just looks hokey. Anyone can put some powder into a bottle and be like, hey, this is a magic formula. So Facebook can't classify all of them as these are legitimate companies, but they do look for things that may be like newer sites, someone that's just starting out. And if you're saying, hey, you can lose 10 pounds in 5 minutes, it's probably most likely they're going to shut that down. Weapons, ammunition, or explosive. These are things that you cannot advertise on Facebook. Adult products or services or adult content. Any things that fall under those. Facebook is kind of a platform for everyone, so they're trying to keep it consumer friendly. Third-party infringement. If you're infringing on trademarks, copyrights of another business. So if I take the Coke logo, put it up on my ad and be like, hey, Coke says, my company's amazing. They would look at that and be like, no, you can't infringe on another trademark or copyrighted information. Sensational content. So this would be things like, I'm trying to do something to shock you or to scare you. The examples Facebook gives, like a car accident or like a gun pointing at your face, being like, you have to do this, or you'll like, don't be robbed. Things like that that are trying to scare people. Facebook's going to tend to block those. Personal attributes. These are ads that go after people specifically for things like race, religion, age, sexual orientation, medical, financial. If you're trying to put ads up, they're like, hey, are you 20 to 25 years old that lives in Los Angeles and has diabetes? Come check out our product. Like those type of things are way too personally identifiable, and Facebook will shut them down. If it has misleading or false content. So if you're saying, hey, check out this article about the President of the United States, and then when they go there, they see something for, buy a weight loss pill. Those type of things. If there's any sort of misleading content that it doesn't sync up, where it's two different topics, Facebook will shut that down. If it's controversial content, that again is something that I think's happened a lot more with a lot of the recent events. As these start to come out, Facebook has the ability to say, hey, we're not going to promote ads around this specific topic that may be causing strife in a certain area, or with politics or race or things like that. So that's again in Facebook's sole discretion. So which means it can change based on whatever they decide at the moment. Let's see what else. A non-functional landing page. So if you're sending people to a landing page and maybe it's not functioning the way that it should, or that there's something that is glitching, or that, you know, is making it look like, hey, you can watch this video, but it's not an actual video. Another common example I see is people that are like, oh, look, here's all the Facebook likes that we've got, but they're posting an image instead of an actual Facebook widget where a person could see all the comments versus just the ones that are good or 5 stars. Those type of things. Facebook's like, you're trying to hide something, you're trying to make it look like you're better than you are. That will get cut. Let's see what else. Surveillance equipment cannot be advertised. Any sort of spy cameras or tracking devices that a person might not know about. If there's, you know, grammar or profanity, those type of things instantly. So if you're using bad words in your ads, those most likely are going to get flagged. Personal health, this is something that Facebook goes against. If you have any before and after photos, generally Facebook, you know, will block those right away. We see these a lot with people trying to sell, you know, weight loss supplements or, you know, diet programs where, you know, that's what they're trying to show as the results. If you can actually prove that they are results, we've seen a couple times that Facebook will let them through. But as a whole, generally what we see is people that have just stock photos of a, you know, maybe a larger person and then a skinnier person that look kind of similar or from the back, and then they're like, look, this is what our product does for you. So those, you know, would be blocked. Payday or cash advance loans, anything promoting those are not allowed. Multi-level marketing, which I know is tough because a lot of people want to connect with their friends and family for it, but any sort of multi-level marketing is immediately disapproved. Penny auctions, which is where you bid in small amounts, and then, you know, a laptop that may cost $1,000, you may end up spending, you know, $50 to buy it, but everyone that bid along the way is spending 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents, and they don't get that money back. Counterfeit documents, if you're, you know, advertising, hey, we can create you a fake passport or driver's license, that would be blocked. If you have a low quality or disruptive content. So what happens is, you know, if you go to a landing page and say that there is, you know, an image that's, you know, shrunken down, or that you can't actually click, or you have to click to make it to see the full size, or if there's an ad that's potentially blocking the X out button where you want it to shut down, anything that's disruptive for the user experience, Facebook's like, look, no, you have to be very clean and very straightforward with your ads. If it's promoting spyware or malware in any sort of way, or you know, what is reported as spyware or malware, it won't go. If you have automatic animation, so these are things like, you know, you go to a page and maybe things start happening automatically without the user's, you know, knowledge, or that it's you know, starting a process where they can't stop it. Those type of things, you know, Facebook will block. Any unauthorized streaming devices, these would be things like torrents or piracy. You know, if you're promoting those will get shut down. And then finally, circumventing systems. So this is really probably the most important one, where Facebook is really cramped down, because a lot of people, you know, they're like, my account got disabled or blocked, or I had some of my ads shut down, so I'm going to try to create other accounts and go around and do other things. Facebook says if we see that type of activity, we have the ability to shut down all your accounts, or, you know, to completely turn them off. And this is where a lot of people fall into problems, because they aren't necessarily watching these. They're just trying to be like, well, I'll get a warning. And the problem is Facebook has so many advertisers that they don't care if they kick you out and you can never get back in, because they've got 5 million other people and businesses looking to spend money with them, and they're like, we don't need the people that are causing trouble or trying to violate our policies. So they have gone and gotten very, very efficient about how to shut down these accounts. But let me finish up. The other thing we were talking about, disapprovals, are if it happens over a period of time. So this is the second way that your ads can be disapproved. So you're running ads, they're going for a period of time, a month, a week, and all of a sudden, you know, the little red icon shows up and your ads are now disapproved. This can happen for a couple of reasons. One, if users are giving your ads negative feedback while they're running, saying, dude, this ad is super spammy, or it's talking about a substance that, you know, is illegal, you go to jail if you have it, or any sort of thing like that. As that starts to happen, a lot of times ads are manually reviewed, at which point a person at Facebook will come through, look at it and be like, this is talking about an illegal substance. No, it's out. So, you know, you basically slipped one, you know, through the cracks, and it was running while it did. If it did get blocked, it's violating some sort of Facebook's policies or something that I mentioned before. So in that part, don't get mad that Facebook's done something wrong and you're like, well, it ran for a while. You got lucky that it ran for a while before it got shut down, and that you were able to slip that one through the cracks. Other things that can happen is just a manual review. This is times where Facebook you'll have an actual people that are reviewing ads. As they see data come back for the ads, they can go back and manually go back and just look through them and say, hey, this is one that is against one of our policies. So sometimes that happens over time. They don't have enough people or manpower to review every ad with a human being. So a lot of it's done by algorithms. So just know that it could happen over time. And then finally, Facebook updates their policies all the time. So an ad that you might have had running might not have violated a policy at that point in time. But if they implement a new policy and say, hey, now this is gone, that would theoretically trigger your ad to where it may not be able to be shown, or it would get disapproved. We've seen from when we started advertising on Facebook, I mean, they originally had like 8 to 10 things that were ad policies. Now they've got like 25 to 30. So all these have been added one by one as Facebook has evolved their ad platform. So I mean, what does this basically mean for you? How do you resolve this if your ad gets blocked? First of all, a lot of times they'll give you the reason for why it was blocked. So you're going to want to look at that and go back to the Facebook ad policies page and look at what is it specifically that you're violating and see, is there a way that you can edit your ad to not violate that policy, right? Remove that image of a gun in your ad. Like that's not allowed anymore. And switch it out with another image or another video. Another option that you have is you can go to facebook.com/business/resources. And on that page, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's 3 options that you have. One is community, one is email, and one is chat. And based off the hours in the day, the chat one will come and go, and it will be available or will not. It will disappear. And also we've seen the email one disappear from time to time to where certain clients can't access the email one. The community one is one where you can go and post any question you want. Someone from the community will come back and answer it. It's not the most helpful one because a lot of times you wait or you don't get an answer at all. But the email or the chat are your next 2 best options. And my advice is just make your case for what it is you're doing. Be very clear with the information you're sending them to them. Show the ads, say, here's what I thought violated it, here's what we're looking to change it to, here's what I want to do to be in line with your ad policy. 2, and the next step I would say is if you don't get an answer back or you get an answer back that says, no, our decision is final, there's nothing you can do, you can always go back and repeal that and just say, hey, no, wait, I'm looking, is there any way I can get another person to review it? Is there any way that you can look again and make your case again? Because a lot of times they're shown to different people. It's not always necessarily the same person at Facebook. You find that they all have the ability to turn ads on or off. So if you can find one that says, no, this does look like you're making the right movements towards what you're looking to do, you can be able to turn them back on. So there are options for that, and those are kind of that really is your only options at that point in time. Now, the second thing is if you get your account disabled. So, the first one was just talking about ads that maybe are getting flagged and turned off. This is where when you are getting multiple repeats or offenses, Facebook will actually block your entire account, or what they call disabled, to where you can no longer spend any money, you can no longer run any ads, you can no longer assign people to it. It is just done and gone. You cannot move your account. So what happens is a lot of people will then be like, well, let me create another ad account. And they go create another one and they create all the same ads again. So I'll just see what happens here. And then that one gets shut down. And what happens is, as they keep trying to figure out what my next options are, it's just in your, in Facebook, they're seeing red flag, red flag, red flag. All right, whoever this guy is, he's just causing trouble. And then what happens is anything you touch is going to start getting blocked or flagged. So there's a couple things that you can do here, right? In this scenario, a lot of times people keep trying to explore the other options of let me go try to create another account, let me go create more and more and more. Facebook blocks these they're tracking a couple of things. One is you have your Facebook user ID. So they know I'm creating ad account 1, they know I'm creating ad account 2, they know I'm creating ad account 3. So they have the ability to track that and be like, here's all the ad accounts that Brian has access to. If certain ones are getting flagged, they're then going to watch that account closer. They can track things like the URLs that you're advertising to. So if you're sending people to the same URL as an ad that just got blocked, that most likely will get your account blocked. I've had people say, hey, we have affiliates that we're running, and we've got 100 different people all sending it to this account. If one affiliate puts an ad that says, hey, get rich quick, that could line up, and the other 99 would have their account shut down because they're all going to the same URL. Let's see what else. What you can do is how you can be able to get around this. My advice, hands down, and I get so many people that approach me and are like, hey, help us, we're trying to sneak, or can you create an account, or can we get someone in Taiwan to create an account for us, and then we'll go in and try to access it. My approach 100% is to just, one, if you are advertising things that are against Facebook policies, like, you pretty much should just give up. Facebook's just going to get better and better and better, and you're going to have to you're trying all these different routes, and it's most likely not going to work. It's not going to pan out. Facebook has more resources, more people dedicated to making this, problem, or to help prevent this from their end than you do. And so to some extent, and plus, it's not something that's good for Facebook. So I know people are like, but no, I can make so much money if I could do it. It's a losing battle. It's very much like people trying to get around SEO. They may win for a couple of days, but ultimately in the long run, Google kind of shuts them down and there's not much there. So, some of the things that you can do in this scenario, kind of my tips are, if one, just give up if you're doing something bad, or focus on selling a product that actually is valuable to society and not trying to trick people into giving their money. Two, warm up your ad account. So if you have a new ad account, begin by running some like campaigns, or begin by running some engagement campaigns for some of your content, and spend a little bit of money before you start going into, hey, buy this product right away. It built some history behind your account to where it's starting to warm up a little bit, as opposed to just going cold turkey into a full-blown ad. Facebook watches those people earlier at the beginning, much closer than they do maybe later on. As you spent money, you maybe have a little bit more flexibility, or the rules aren't quite as stringent. And then the other thing I would say is, try, if you've reached out to the facebook.com/business/resources and you haven't gotten an answer that you want, try again. Like, that is your one kind of outlet. And I would just tell, people, hey, keep trying. And seeing if you can get them to re-enable your account. They do have, Facebook has the ability to re-enable accounts. Try again, see what you can do on that one. I guess what I would say there is, 100%, when it comes to this, there aren't really any fantastic options, except for the fact of just trying to do it the right way. And that's where I would come to saying your best option is to work with an agency like AdvertiseMint, where, what happens is we would go format to Facebook and say, hey, here's what's happening. Here's what's going on with the account. Here's how we're going to clean it up. Here's what we know. Tell us what's wrong. And a lot of times, when we talk to Facebook, because we work with so many clients, they'll give us the exact reasons for why your ad account was shut down. And they'll show us the exact ads and say, here's what triggered it, and what caused it to shut down. A lot of times you can't get those responses when you just go through the Facebook kind of business information, the business resources. So, that's where our team can be able to go to Facebook, have that conversation, actually figure out what it was, and figure out how to stop it moving forward, which a lot of times can be, you need to cut out, a lot of the content on your landing page. You're going to need to cut out all those ads and get other ones that are up and running. You're going to need to clean up who you're trying to target. You can't maybe target those types of people with these types of ads. So there's all these different categories, and again, that's what a professional agency like AdvertiseMint is going to be able to help you do and get correct. Because once we get an account re-enabled, what happens is it cleans up everything. So instead of trying to sneak around to all the different doors and windows, we just clean up the mess and move forward with the same accounts. And once we get that, we're able to run forward as long as we don't violate any of the policies again. So if you've had problems with your account, we've had it shut down, you've had issues with it, and you want to figure out, are there options to get me back on the right track, reach out to our company, send us some information, either give us a call or fill out the forms on our website. We'd love to be able to talk with you more about that. But that's kind of it for today, and all my thoughts on what to do if your accounts are getting blocked, if they're getting disabled, and your options for being able to help move them forward. So thanks again for checking out the live stream. If you guys have more questions, leave it below. We'll answer them in the upcoming weeks, or check us out again. So cool. Thank you so much. Have a great day.